There's a certain gimmick I always wanted to talk about. And there's someone in ETGW, his name is Glenn Evans. Now, this dude literally one hell of a backyarder. And it's crazy because he's really good in the ring. He's literally like a backyard Punisher, Randy Orton type gimmick. You know, I mean, he does the RKO, he does the punts. I mean, even other than the super kick, but like everybody gets what I'm saying. Now, I don't know if anybody really remembers, but there was a gimmick that he had in 2009 where he kind of disappeared for a little bit after Deception 2. And like, maybe I want to say maybe like a couple months. I think it was Not Enough 2009. I'm pretty sure it was Dave the Dester Not Enough. But one of those two events where Rob Funk and was doing the whole big open challenge shit the beginning of the episodes, and Glenn Evans came back with a whole new gear, the whole army shirt shift. And it's crazy because there was a promo that's long gone. It's probably put in private in UTGW. It's been in private for a good couple of years, I'm assuming. But there was a promo that Glenn Evans did, and he was talking about how he was sick and tired of constantly trying to make it to the top, being this punishing bad guy, trying to constantly hurt people and take people out just to get into the middle of the scene. So he's trying to take a whole different route, resulting the shift gimmick, which that's what I call it, the shift gimmick, because I mean that it was the shirt, it was him. He was going to shift things a little bit differently from his persona entirely. So that's what he did for a moment throughout the summer of 2009 until like around the fall and winter was coming around. So like he his gimmick was really good. I mean, it wasn't like he was being, as, the Glenn Evans that everybody knows in general, which is the Punisher version. But the shift gimmick, there was something about the character, the shift gimmick version of Glenn Evans. There's something about this character specifically, because it wasn't like he was out there trying to hurt people. He wasn't out there trying to, do his usual bad guy stuff. He was there, look, I'm going to go out there and do this match with you, and if I win, I win, and may the best man win. Whoever loses, whoever wins, regardless. So that was pretty much that whole case of the character. But at the same time, you can tell that he kind of still had that dark side to him in a way. And I feel like if they would have done something with the shift gimmick, when, like, for example, they kept him face from when he returned as the shift character, and when he won the Money in the Bank, and he held it for a while throughout the whole entire summer up until a month after he turned heel. So let's go to the point where he turns heel, when he's doing the whole thing, the whole match with Pringo, beats the hell out of him and shit. So now what they could have done, instead of trying to bring back the Punisher gimmick, I wouldn't want to say trying, but they pretty much did. Instead of bringing back the Punisher gimmick, what they could have done is, you know what, I can go ahead and still be this Punisher side, but they can have like this whole kind of like shift, different kind of thing to it, kind of like a whole different style. Because I mean, hell, the dude was he may be tall as hell, but he has a pretty good like light heavyweight type of style to him. It could have been something very different, and even then, he probably didn't even had to turn heel for him to, be that popular. Because I mean, even then, I liked the shift gimmick. I was into it. I mean, that was a pretty cool gimmick. I mean, even though they really wasn't doing much, but I mean, what can you really do? You got so many other people in the goddamn backyard, and let alone you had the ETDW title, you had the Hardcore Championship, the Light Heavyweight Championship, and the Tag Team title. So there was so much shit going on that they couldn't really try to keep up ahead with all the stuff. And I think that's why they probably went and retired all the titles too. Other than that, I think that Glenn Evans could have done something with the shift gimmick, but it happens. There's a reason why things get scrapped up, it gets thrown away. There was a reason why that the gimmick was pretty much scrapped up, because I mean, if you look in the comment section from all the old stuff when he was in that shift gimmick, not a lot of people were really paying attention to Glenn for a while, up until the point he finally turned heel. When he came back and turned heel and started doing all his bad guy antics, and then Oblivion 3 You know, he became the first and only person to hold light heavyweight and GW heavyweight titles, and then retire for that brief moment. Had they not, I really do wonder, because had they not, or had Glenn Evans himself, or whoever, whatever, with this whole, because 2009, 2010 is a very odd year of people disappearing and then coming back, and then they'll be gone again, and then they'll come back. It started off with, it's crazy because it started off with Jesse Morales, and I don't know if not a lot of people remember him, but he was from the old ETDW back in 07, 08, 09. This shit started with him when he was doing matches back in 2008 for a while, and then he just disappeared for that whole entire year, even most of 2009 too, up until the summer when he came back and he just did those two matches, the singles match with Adam Jackson and then that battle royal, and then he was gone after, like completely gone by then, like nobody ever seen him again. Rob Funk is another one, disappeared for a while, came back, disappeared again, then appeared for one episode and he was gone. Patrick Poison, he's another one. And they kind of did the same thing with Dylan Crease in a sense, because he disappeared most of 2010, kind of like the same way Glenn did, but it wasn't, put out there like that.